Well, attention all gun enthusiasts, take a look at this. It looks like a typical gun, but it's unlike anything you have ever seen before. How? Well, what you are looking at is the world's first 3D printed metal gun. The company Solid Concepts is behind the gun, and it says the gun has already fired off over 50 rounds without problems. The gun is made of 30 parts. It uses laser sintering processes to make parts of powdered metal. Crazy, huh? Well, 3D printing is opening up a world of possibilities for creating everything from tools to pizza to guns. And that is the topic of today's Tech Report. So let's get to it with Kent Firestone, Vice President of Additive Manufacturing and Solid Concepts. Kent, tell us about your gun.
Well, it started as an R&D project just to see if the processes that we use would withhold or stand up to the stresses involved in a firearm. And once it was completed and successfully tested, we decided to use it as a way to promote the technology.
And how long have you been working on this project for?
It wasn't a focused R&D effort, so we started building parts a few months ago, and just whenever we had space and builds, we'd throw some parts in.
Is it safe?
Yes, very safe. The metals we use are standard metals that you would find in the regular world. A lot of our parts that we make go into service immediately in different types of high-stress environments.
Very interesting. Now, when can we expect to see them out on the market, or is that something that your company is going for at this point?
It's really not why we did it. It was more of an R&D project. We have had some interest in possibly doing a limited edition, a limited run of these next year. We're still considering our options there. But long term, it's not a cost-effective manufacturing process for firearms. It's really more useful in the R&D of new firearm technologies.
And that is a question that I was going to ask you, is how much it costs to produce one of these in comparison to a traditional gun. Obviously, the research and development stage is much more expensive, but can you give us an estimate of what it would cost?
Our best estimates at this time would put our cost on this kind of at the high end of a similar model pistol that you could buy. So our cost would be close to the retail price of a really high-end 1911 pistol, around $4,000 maybe.
Wow. Now, meanwhile, other companies in the 3D printing industry are working on plastic guns. Federal law enforcement officials have stressed how dangerous these guns are because they are made of completely out of plastic, or if they could be, then they would be undetected by metal detectors, etc. Now, a longtime ban on undetectable firearms is scheduled to expire on December 9th. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on plastic guns.
Personally, obviously, one of the things to make sure everybody understands is there are a lot of firearms on the market today that are made out of plastics. It's just a different type of manufacturing process. But in terms of 3D printed guns, 3D printed plastic guns, it definitely shows some of the capabilities, but obviously the durability just isn't there.
Now,
and so I personally wouldn't want to have one.
One of the major criticisms of these types of printed guns, be it metal or plastic or otherwise, is that they can help criminals skirt around gun laws and possibly even print their own. Should we expect to see, in your opinion, some type of regulation for 3D firearms?
I don't know if there'll be regulations, but I can say that if a criminal can afford to get a metal 3D printer, he can more than afford to go buy as many guns on the street as he'd like illegally. So, I don't believe that this is going to increase their access to weapons.
Any previews of what's coming out next from your company?
We make hundreds of thousands of parts for thousands of clients a year. So we don't have anything big to splash out yet, but we're constantly doing innovative R&D work for other people.
Thank you so much for joining me, Ken Firestone, Vice President of Additive Manufacturing and Solid Concepts.
Thank you, Megan.